what exactly is the Mega Man Battle Network series? It's an RPG series that originated on the Game Boy Advance, and it's an it's a wacky series to put bluntly. It's where it it really focuses on like the online aspect, of the early 2000s. Focuses on like this kid named Lan, and he can like go into the internet and I'm kind of paraphrasing a lot, and he can fight online crime through the help of Mega Man, who interacts with the world because he is a digital entity. I I think that kind of, for the most part, explains most of it. Well, as being as spoiler free as I can. And this is, part two of Mega Man Battle Network 2. I did a whole series on Mega Man Battle Network 1. If you want to jump into any point in the Battle Network series, I'd say if you want to start from the first one, you can. But a lot of people would say you can start from the second one. So, last time we took on. Also, I just want to say, Battle Network, it's insane. For all you Sonic fans who are like, what the heck's going on? You're gonna hear it. So last time we took on Quickman, he set up a bunch of bombs that exploded or tried to explode throughout the entire campsite that we're staying at. And then we end up back in ACDC town. And, we're just milling about. And then all of a sudden, a random balloon comes in. And it's like, what's up with the balloon? And there's chip data on the balloon. And it turns out the chip data is from, we found out it says, will you be my pen pal? And it's from Yumland. And it feels like going to Yumland is like a whole adventure in itself. And I'm like going down like let's play walkthrough to refresh what's going on here, because it's been a while since I've done this. So you have to navigate your way to Yumland, and also do a couple side missions. Mega Man Battle Network 1 did not have side missions, and for better or worse, I'm not kind of jiving with these side missions, honestly. I feel like you don't really get too much, but maybe that's just me. They give you a couple of missions. You gotta meet up with people. You gotta do some old-fashioned virus busting, And then you gotta deliver some, or enjoy Kotoboki. Deliver some bug frags. Get some odd progs. It's a whole scene. And then eventually, once you wrap that up, they were like, hey, this might be why I don't like the side quests, because they're just back to back. Then it's like, hey, why don't you go upgrade your license? Like in Custom Robo, they're like, why don't you upgrade your license? Your not Robo license, but your I'm not sure what you'd call it. Your Net Navi license, is that what's called? Something license. So you get that. Then after seemingly endless side quests, you end up in Yumland. And I actually remember why I hated all those side quests. I actually forgot like what was going on in the one side quest. And I put down the game. And I was like, alright, yo, I forgot what was going on in the side quest. And I'm too what's the word? I guess used to modern games where it's like, big crazy taxi arrow. This is where you go. And Mega Man Battle Network 2, the only way I would know what is going on in the side quest is if I would go all the way down to the little task center or whatever and read the sign and see what's going on again. Yeah, that's too much work. Too much work, Mega Man Battle Network 2. Anyway, you get to Yumland, and it's a country, which is a strange name for a country. I'll just say up front. There's a lot of panels all around the place. Kind of like Sabrina's gym from Pokemon. Earlier, we got introduced to what are they called officially? Gospel, the the Net Mafia. In the first game, if you don't know, the bad guys were called World 3 or W3. I'll have to say this is another kind of step down. The Net Mafia kind of sounds rough, but World 3, it has a certain I don't even know how to say it, like certain untouchable quality to them. So you get to Yumland and you go into this area and it's like, oh boy, what's gotta happen here? And then all of a sudden, you face Cut Man. And he's like, I'm with the Net Mafia. I'm paraphrasing a fair bit. And Cut Man, his whole thing is he throws out the little cut blades on the top of his head. And that's no good. There's your Sonic reference for you Sonic kids. He's not too tough, really. And then you beat him, and then several hours pass, and then is this when crazy things happen? Yes. No, that I'm thinking of something else. When you play so much Mega Man Battle Network 2 specifically, everything confused in your head. So afterwards is when the confusing, crazy stuff happens. You go back to Dad's office, and they're like, did you know the Navis who ruined Yum Land are coming here? And, there's gonna be people dealing with it. And Lion's like, well, I want to help. And your dad's like, well, how about you do some side quests? So you gotta do some more side quests, getting change.bat. And then while you're doing that, all sorts of craziness is happening. People are taking over, and that is essentially that first Digimon movie. And then you go back to Yumland. Oh, this is the part I was talking about. You're like, oh man, I gotta get the super cool thing from Yumland. And you go to Yumland. And it's empty and no viruses. And you get change.bat. But the moment you get it, the security system goes off. It's like, what happened? And then you have to run out. You can't jack out. And then you have to fight, enemy after enemy after enemy. And then at the end, you can just jack out back to Dad's and tell him, what happened. You gave change.bat back to your father, and your father is like, oh, thank you for the program. And then you're like, well, we took it from Yumland. Taking it was, illegal. And he's like, well, thank you anyways. And then you install it, and it turns out installing it is like the coolest part of this game so far. It's essentially gives you like an entire Pokemon battling system, or type system rather. Now you can change Mega Man's types, which really, I never really questioned why he couldn't do that. Well, he can really, he beats enemies and then takes their cards, but this really develops on that system, the Mega Man system of, changing your abilities. And then, it turns out something is infiltrated the square, and then you gotta go. It turns out Electopia was taken over. So you go back there with your new change style And turns out people have been taking over the mother computer. Uh-oh. So we've got to save the day with our new ability. And they've been attacking the square as a diversion. So us with the top scientists have got to track down and save the mother computer. And this is I've said this before on the channel, one of my favorite, what do you call a trope? I guess so. A trope in video games where, every door we go through, we have to like leave someone behind. So that's just essentially this area. Like there's multiple doors, and then we go through, we do a little battle, and then someone's like, I have to be left behind. And also, each area, there's like a little maze type deal where it's like a brain teasing type maze, and it's not hard. Essentially, it's just like, oh, let me pull up one of these questions. It's like A, B, C, D, and then you have to hit E or something. One of these is like, there's a bunch of progs, and then they're like, one of the programs is lying. So you got, it's like one of the E puzzles. And there's like a billion of these. And you go through, and you finally get to the end. Like I said, there's a billion. And then I believe this Shadow Man and Proto Man, they're showing down. And Chad is like, you have to go forward. I'll take him. Like in Super Paper Mario. Well, one of my favorite games that does this. And then you kind of have to leave him. And there's more you have to do in this confusing little maze. Not confusing, just like it's the same thing over and over. And very long. And then you finally get to the end. And then you finally face Shadow Man after a very lengthy thing. And his whole thing is he just like duplicates, and he's a ninja essentially. And to be honest, I don't really remember having much trouble with him. I just remember the maze. To be honest, if I had much trouble, I don't remember. And then after that, it's like, woohoo, we beat everything. And then the Mafia's like, we'll get him next time. They'll remember the name of Gospel. That's everything I played up to. So far, there's been a lot of highs and lows in the Mega Man Battle Network 2 that we've played through. I'm curious what style change will bring about. if there's more secrets that are yet to be unraveled. Like I said in Battle Network 1, I really want to find out what this series has to offer. And I want you guys to be curious along with me. So join us and me, join me next time so we can find out together for Mega Man Battle Network